Yeah. Shogun business. Not everybody can come around this table. It's for the ones who build, not just bought. Family ties. Let's go.
We build different.
Yeah.
We run dogs, we don't run lip. Boy, we build different.
Shogun.
Real ones locked in, not just clicking. Name whole weight, cause we build different.
Facts.
Build different. Build different. Morning talk heavy and the dogs ain't missing.
Nope.
Shout out the family that's riding and lifting.
All of
this
you.
for my people, we build different. Big salute to Big Hill fam, that's Shogun blood. Elevated kennels, grinding, rising above. Cooking with soul, real flavor, real love. Solo but connected, 10 toes, never budge. Schoolboy Richard Garcia still teaching the pups. Non-stopping J-Bo, bulldogging it tough. PDK, Pelican Bay, solid as a rock. Catch guard, catching that work round the clock. The UA, Kane Corso, north side, go hard. Whole squad real from the muscle, from the yard.
Yard work.
We build different.
Yeah.
We run dogs, we don't run lip, boy, we build different. Real ones locked in, not just clicking. Name whole weight, cause we build different. Build different. Morning talk heavy and the dogs ain't missing. Shout out the family that's riding and lifting. This for my people, we build different.
Let's go.
Big love to the viewers that pull up and ride. Dickie Foster, front row every time.
Salute.
Pyrex in the kitchen, mixing the grind. MKM bottoms, laying them foundations right. Quick C, fast hand, sharp mind. Mike Dan locked in like bloodline. When moon stay tapped with the real ties. In the wood, 4, 5, 6, solid through the vines. Show enough, certified, you know he gon' slide. Vernon Star, bright light for the tribe. Hemi James, high torque, full drive. And there's plenty more soldiers on this ride. Middle from the dirt, loyal to the work. Earn not given, put your pride in the earth. Morning talk, no decaf, get it first. Shogun family, yeah, we blessed, not cursed. We build different. We run dogs, we don't run lip. Boy, we build different. Real ones locked in, not just clicking. Name whole weight, cause we build different.
Shogun.
Build different. Morning talk heavy and the dogs ain't missing. Shout out the family that's riding and lifting. This for my people, we build different.
All day. Big love to the ones really in it. From the yards to the kitchens to the woods. We salute you. Run your dogs, not your mouth. Shogun Unlimited. No deck off. No cap.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what's going on, mister?
Chilling.
Yeah.
Chilling, just hanging out.
What's on the agenda for the day?
I'm gonna talk a little bit about puppy nutrition and stuff today,
Okay.
actually. So, on this litter, I'm gonna try Tom's RF1 stuff. I'm about to order it. I've never tried it, but I see all this stuff. I want to give it a shot. It ain't that expensive,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
And but normally, so like at 3.5 weeks, dead on the 3.5 week mark, right? I'll take and start giving them goat's milk with a little bit of like the packages of soft puppy food or the cans of soft puppy food. I'll take and mix that up in the goat's milk and make like a slurry out of it. And the first time they just get goat's milk, and I start showing it to them once or twice, like a day. And by the 4th week, dead on, they're eating food. You know what I mean? And I can fully pull the mama out and just give them food myself. And so like I use the slurry and all the way until they're, about 5 weeks. About 5 weeks, I start tapering the slurry off to hard food because most people that get the puppy, they might know to make a slurry and they might not. I mean, I can tell people, but
Yeah.
some people just, no matter if you tell them or what, they're just gonna still learn their own way, and that's okay. That's fine.
Mhm.
But so I just make sure that they will eat hard food. You know what I mean, by itself before they leave.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I always feed the pedigree puppy to my puppies, and it's for a reason. You know what I mean? At first, I feed the pedigree puppy for about the first week. So by the time they're at 4.5 weeks, I switch to the pride puppy food. But the pedigree puppy food, so from my experience, this is something I've never really heard talked about. So everybody, you know how like it's known sometimes that'll give your dog the runs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a little bit, kind of. It'll be softer, really, really soft poops. So I give it to my puppies when I'm first breaking them off of the mama, because the transition from the mama's milk to that puppy food, they're gonna have more waste off of the puppy food than they did the mama's milk. So I don't want them being constipated the first few times, using the bathroom, because that can cause them, like if they strain really hard, that can cause them to rupture the tissue inside their anus, and it'll cause them to have an anal prolapse. So I always give like something like that that's going to make them have soft poops for the first week, and slowly taper them into where their poops will get nice and consistent. You know what I mean? And then I can pick them up really easy out of the welcome box or whatever. That's just one thing I've never really heard talked about, like the straining of puppies, because I've gotten puppies from people that like, I go at 6 weeks and the puppies are still like trying to suck on the mom's nipples and she's still with them, and I'm just like, nah, I don't like it. I always had a harder transition than people does getting dogs from me, and I swear it's because of that. Another thing I'm pretty picky about is so I have a high kennel that I built, and it's has an insulated doghouse with a heater in it for in case I have a litter in the wintertime. And like you just plug it into a drop cord, and the heat, you have a thermostat you can set so inside the doghouse it'll stay that temperature. I'm always picky about like a whelping situation, because that right there will make or break a dog for the rest of its life. You know what I mean? The habits, a lot of people don't think about it, but the habits they pick up in them first 6 weeks, they tend to carry them for a long time, and it's really hard to break them with stuff like that. So, but then there's also good sides to it. Like they learn things from their litter mates that teaches them respect, certain things like that. So like I always have a dog house, you know what I mean? And then they go out, and I always feed them outside of the dog house. Like that way they never eat in the dog house, because usually when you feed puppies, they're going to go to the bathroom instantly. So I always feed them outside of the dog house. And even for the first little while, I'll put a board up blocking the door of the dog house so none of them can even go in there. You know what I mean? And it teaches them, like, there's been people that got dogs from me that claim they never had to house train them. And I'm like, well, the only reason I can think of is because they know to use the bathroom and eat one place and then sleep somewhere else. So it makes them have that, like, cognitive awareness to where their food is, you know? Like, because most dogs will not, like, good dogs and stuff, will not poop where their food bowl is and stuff, you know? It'll, and like, I mean, every dog can be, you know, like if you left them too long, there's that instance. But for the most part, like even if you watch probably Michonne, like if you fed her out in the yard, she'd go somewhere else to poop. You know what I mean? She'd walk away to poop. And it's just something in their psychology that they do.
Well, I've seen dogs that eat and poop right where they eat at, you know, pups. And usually those pups I kind of steer away from. You know, those are pups that I've seen. Those ones, in my experience, are the ones that usually will be the ones to turn around and eat their own feces and stuff like that. So when I see that, I usually stay away from.
So if dogs are eating their feces a lot, I'll be honest with you, most of the time if people seeing that in their litters, they're lacking deficiencies somehow. They're lacking vitamins and minerals, or even maybe carbohydrates. And
Yeah.
they can also be feeding their puppies too often together. You know what I mean? Like say he's gonna feed them 3 times a day, right? He feeds them the first time at 9 o'clock, then he feeds them at 11 o'clock, then he feeds them at 8 o'clock. The first 2 are way too close, so by the time they poop from the first time, it might not even be fully digested like that. You know what I mean? It might still smell like the dog food, like and so that'll be a reason that they'll eat it. If they're lacking them minerals and that poop comes out still smelling like dog food, they'll eat it a lot of the time.
So let's talk about the feeding schedule then. How would you feed?
So if I'm feeding puppies when they're 3.5 weeks old, I'll wake up and feed them at say 7 o'clock, and then I'll come back at say, I don't know, 1 o'clock. Or maybe like 12:30, and then feed again at 7, you know. And then for the first 2-3 days, I put the mama back in there. At like the first day she stays in there. Then the second day I'll pull her out for a little while and let the puppies only get the fed time, and then I'll put her back in at night. By the 3rd or 4th day, by the 4th week, you know what I mean, she will be fully out of there and she won't go back in. They'll be used to me feeding them already. When I come to the food bowl, they'll be sitting there excited waiting.
In that 3-day period, they're feeding from the bowl and the mother, right?
The first day she's in there with them. The second day I pull her out all day long, right, and put her back in at night. The third day, if they're eating really good and all that stuff, I don't even put her back, and then I'll start her on a regiment to tighten her up. You know, make it look like she ain't even never had no puppies.
And how do you do that?
So I pull their water away. All the water they get is with feed. You can sometimes give like a little bit of B12 and it'll help their blood flow, and like so it'll cause them to draw up too within a natural like reaction of the no water. You know what I mean? With the B12, it'll cause them to draw up a little bit, from my experience, what I've seen. And so like I'll just let them naturally do that, and I'll feed them, and I'll feed them lightly one time and work them out, and then feed them a little, but never feed them too heavy after that. It keeps the fat on them, and all that droopy stuff, like that's just fat. That's just excess fat that the body's put back to, you know, feed the puppies on. So like I usually will feed where, say, okay, so like a chicken and rice food, right, with no carbohydrates, no starches, it'll cause the body to go into ketosis, right? Like Tom has a good video talking about this. It'll cause the body to go into ketosis. So you just keep the bitch in ketosis for like a week and a half, you know, with a certain kind of food, feeding her. Because what you eat determines that or not. You know what I mean? It ain't how much you eat. It's what you eat. So I just keep them in ketosis for a week and a half, and they'll draw right up. By 2 weeks after, like I'll do it with Vixen. By 2 weeks after, she'll look like she never even had puppies. I mean, you can always tell with her nipples a little bit, but it won't be like she's droopy. They just will always kind of have that longer look to them.
Yeah.
But that's, from my experience, I mean, I've drawn a lot of females up. The only female I haven't been able to draw back up was Sissy, but she was already, she had had a litter before I got her with my cousin, and she only had 3 pups, and her sister had 12. So they split them, and her sister had them 2 weeks after she had hers. So they split the litter up, and she fed them for like, I think she fed puppies for like 14 weeks. Like a long time fed the puppies, because by the time her puppies were pulled off, her sister's puppies were still needed 2 more weeks, and they let them eat for like 8 weeks, which was way too long in my opinion. So like colostrum, like, so what the reason that the mama has to feed them like for at least 48 hours after they're born is because of colostrum. They carry certain fats, minerals, resistances to like parvo, natural immunities is the word Tom used. It carries all that. That's what they're transferring. And they also have natural immunities from being born from the mother, you know?
Yeah.
So if a bitch drops puppies and she feeds them for at least 48 hours, after that, I can switch them to bottle feed them and they'll live.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you just have to be more strict on the schedule of feeding. A lot of people go to bottle feeding and they're not bottle feeding them. They'll either feed them too much at one time, or they're not feeding them enough often enough, and that's where the problems will occur. Like, if you overfeed something the same way as if you underfeed, it can have the same result. Like, you're overloading their body with too much. So I've seen that. Like, I've bottle fed a few puppies, but not like because I had to. Just because I noticed one say it's a little bit smaller, so I'll bottle feed it 2-3 times a day for, you know, a week, and then it'll get right back to where everybody else is, and it has a fair chance.
Yeah.
Like, it and everybody's like, well, I mean, nature. But at the same time, like, hell, if, I mean, there's 10 of them on Vixen, right? If one can't just luckily find the nipple before the rest of them, then, you know, he's kind of shit out of luck until they're done, and then he can find one. So sometimes you gotta, like, I'll even see, like, one that's real fat, pull him off and put the littler one on that nipple. And I've done that before without having to bottle feed. Just controlling when they eat myself. And so that's one thing I'll say. That's one thing I'll say about, you know, getting a variety of colors. It makes it really easy for me to control how they're fed like that.
Yeah.
Because I know if I had all red ones, well, damn, did I just feed this one or not? Because they all look just alike. But no, like, so I got a little bit of variety, so I can tell, you know, just that one's already eat, put it over, that one's already, and it's easy for me to keep track of in my head as far as being able to control how they eat. I mean, I have, like, a lot of time I put into this, you know, so, like, I'm here a lot with them, especially when they have puppies. That's one thing. That's my favorite part about the shit.
Puppies.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That's my favorite part. I mean, that was what really struck my interest as a kid the first time, you know, like, we had the dogs and that was cool, but, like, when we had puppies, that was when I was like, okay, so this is different. Like, we took our 2 dogs and made puppies. Like, I was just more, I felt invested, I think, you know, as a kid. So, like, that's where my love for this shit came from, was the puppy side of it.
Yeah.
Whelping them, teaching them stuff, getting their ears cropped, all that.
Yeah. So what do you do? What do you feed the female, knowing that she's going into heat? Do you change the feeding, your feed?
No, because I feed the black bag of pride, and it's for all stages, puppies and all. So I just stay on it consistent. I gave her an automatic feeder, and I kept it full. You know, just let her eat. As like, if you give an automatic feeder to a dog for the first 2 days, they'll eat like a shit ton, and then they'll taper off. They'll get to where they only eat just a couple times a day, like more nitpicky, and it'll keep weight on them better. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like if you just snacked all day, you get fat, but if you eat a couple good meals that were decent, you won't. It's the same. It's the same way. So, like, a few of my dogs now have automatic feeders just because I like the result of it. A couple of them are more hyper go like active and running around, so I just put them with automatic feeders, and they don't look lean and ripped like they did. They're thick and healthy looking. Yeah. I'm not, like, as far as their natural state of living, any dog, this even goes for like puppies, like people will get a puppy, right? And they'll think they get the puppy, they'll not even feed it a puppy food until most of the time mine eat they'll say the black bag their whole life. So by the time, you know, they've eat a puppy food the whole time they're maturing. So it's allowed them to fully mature.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, some people's dogs will be a little leaner, look like they're, like, frail, and that's a lot of the reason is because of what they're eating. Just to be honest, and like, it's gotten better. I'm gonna salute the whole community. Like, a lot of people have gotten way better with their dogs looking good, because like 3-4 years ago, man, everybody had their shit so railed out you about didn't even want to look at it. I was like, holy crap! Showing up some of these shows, these dogs were railed out. I'm like, damn.
So 4 to 6 weeks. How do you handle that?
The 4 to 6 weeks. Is that
Yeah.
what you said? Okay. So, I mean, I just feed them. By 4 weeks, people gets to know who they're gonna get for sure. You know what I mean? So I
Hmm.
get them to pick a name, and I start calling them by their name and stuff. I'm like, I'll walk by them 150 times a day. So like, I'll call, say, we'll just say Jarvis. I'll call Jarvis over, and then I'll pet him, and then I'll go on, and then I'll call Vixen over, which is his sister in the same litter, like when they're puppies, and I'll pet Vixen. And I'll single them out each altercation. So me calling their name and singling them out. Eventually, you can ask Daniel. Both dogs he got from me knew their names, and they'd sit by the time they were 6 weeks old. I could call them over,
Yeah.
sit, and they'd sit, and I could pet them. And Mary Jane would shake. I could even get her to shake, and she was itty bitty when he got her. Like she was little,
Yeah.
and she still knew how to do it. And they tugging. I get them tugging. I'll even put them on. I'll clean my whole meal down with bleach and then let it dry, and then I'll put them on the mill and let them walk and stuff. Just get them used to it. Get them,
Yeah.
it ain't like they never seen one before if they get on it that little. And
Hmm.
so like for me, getting them to do things, I'm not a person that has to like get them to do stuff 1,000 times to get them to do it. I'll
Hmm.
I'll pick out a few small altercations, and get them to do it, and through the good exchange and the praise, they'll want to do it.
Hmm.
The I feel like if you get a dog and you're put like the same way as a kid, if you like, okay, I want my daughter to skateboard. If I put her on a skateboard, made her ride the skateboard, we did it every day, all the time. How much would she really love skateboarding when she's 18? She'll either
Hmm.
love it or she'll hate it. And I don't like the odds of making them hate stuff too easily. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
not going to do that. So I'll just take it slow, have good altercations, rub them down. Even say a little puppy, right? If I walk it on the mill for 5 minutes, just let it cruise at a slow speed,
Hmm.
I'll pull it off and I'll rub it down like it's a grown dog, like
Yeah.
identical, just little bitty
Yeah.
puppy, 5 weeks old, standing there, and I'll rub it down like a grown dog.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Yeah.
then I'll put it up and get another one, and just through the altercations and being calm, being happy to do it. You know what I mean? It's not a
Yeah.
chore. It's a privilege to get to make dogs like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this ain't something that everybody gets to do. So like you should enjoy it. Take your time. You know what I mean? Too many people's in a rush. Take your time and enjoy it, because if you get a rushing through it, you're gonna be like later on, like, damn, I should have really enjoyed time with that dog when I had it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I should have really worked it. Like Rose passed away, right? I should have worked her more. I didn't because I kept trying to get her pregnant, but I should have worked her more.
Yeah.
But there was
Yeah,
something wrong
man.
with her lady parts. I'm about convinced that her whole life I bred her multiple times and she
Hmm.
never took. So I'm just assuming
Well,
there was something wrong with her lady parts.
man, I've heard plenty of stories, man, where dogs wouldn't take, and somebody, they gave the dog to somebody else, and they knew what they was doing, and the dog took. There's some dog men out there that got some a special set of skills, man, that
Yeah,
can
I
make
try some
things
tricks.
happen. Yeah.
I talk to a lot of OGs, so I try about every trick in the book that you can just
Yeah.
people are willing to tell you.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm telling you, she had weird heats always. They were never
Uh-huh.
super consistent. So, like, I just think she had lady part problems. Women have lady part problems. So, I mean, for me to have dealt with, I've seen over 150 puppies be born, and then I've probably had 60 or 70 different dogs in the last 4 years. So like
Yeah.
from seeing that many dogs, it wouldn't be impossible for me to say I come across one with lady part problems.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if people are dealing with like a lower number, I could be like, nah, that'd be more or less likely. Uh, you're rolling. If you've had less numbers of them, for some reason you're rolling more dice, and if you've had more numbers, I mean, you get what you get sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Nah, for
yes,
real.
so like from 4 to 6 weeks, I mean, they'll learn a lot here. Like I'll start, and not only will I tug with them, like I'll give them something that's tied with like 8 different ways hanging off of it, and they'll get on that and start tugging. Like I got videos of Rogues litters just spinning in circle like a damn tornado in the welcome
Mhm.
box tugging, and by the time they're like 5 weeks old, so like they just learn a lot. Like I've gotten dogs that people didn't never touch, and
Mhm.
I love who I got the dog from, and I thank him so much. But at the same time, like
Mhm.
I like dogs that are fooled with a little bit, and I know that from my experience. Like he's coming into his own, but like I like
Mhm.
dogs that were fooled with because they know it. They already know. They're not so scared of human interaction.
Yeah.
And I know
Yeah,
OGs.
man.
I know OGs that'll just like let them have them. Don't even know the sex of them until the day you come and get it, and then they'll be like, "Well, here you get a boy."
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, okay. But
Yeah.
I mean, and they're off of great dogs. So like some
Mhm.
of it, sometimes with people, you just gotta trust the blood, trust their patience, trust everything they tell you to do. Most of the
Yeah,
time, if you
man.
get a dog from somebody, they're not gonna steer you in the direction to fail. They
Well,
want to see
nah.
you
I,
succeed.
well, yeah. I mean, it depends, man. That's why I think it's important to have a vetting process as to who you
Yep.
get your dog from.
Yep.
You know. Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Oh, we'll go into
But
that tomorrow. We'll go into the type of person. I mean, I'll probably trigger a lot of people, but we'll go into the type of people not to buy dogs from.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. You know what I'm saying,
I mean,
and
I've
I
seen some
always,
crazy stuff.
yeah. I mean, without a doubt. But that's very important, man, because it be to be able to get a dog from somebody and be able to ask them questions and be able to get the right information means a lot. Especially if you're not well seasoned in handling these dogs or the new line that you're getting into that you're not familiar with.
You know? And
Yeah.
like, so like some people get a dog from me.
Hmm.
Some people get a dog from me, and I mean, like we just hit it off. And dude, I've talked to him for 8 hours on the phone before, just talking stories and telling them about the dogs. And then
Yeah.
some people they don't never hit me up enough to find anything out. So it's just some of it's on who the person is that's buying the dog, what their
Yeah.
motive is, if they're interested in having a relationship with somebody or they just want the dog. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, there's all kinds of different scenarios.
Yeah, that's why I say
We
so. It's a lot of people that know what they want, what they get, and already have a direction, and they But I always think it's healthy to have some form of communication with the
Yep,
breeder to owner.
yep.
You know, yeah.
So here's one. So like, we went and paid. My buddy paid $3,200 for 2 dogs, and when he handed us the papers, it was single registration. Like he just wrote it out with pen and told us to mail it in. Paid the $75, like single
Mhm.
registration the dogs, and I was like, well, damn, that ain't how that was supposed to be. You know what I mean? When we were
Yeah.
headed back. Well, then we were gave 2 free dogs from somebody, ADBA registered. And I
Hmm.
told him, I said, watch this. I said, when we roll up, I said, the free dogs, he'll have all his paperwork done right. I said, but the ones we paid a bunch of money for, he's fucking slacking. So we roll
Hmm.
up, and I'll be damned if he didn't hand us puppy registered, like real deal, the puppy paper. And I'm like, yep,
Hmm.
I knew it. Like, hell, this guy didn't even make a dime off of us, and he did what he was supposed to do. Like
Yeah.
that was just. Some people are over the top, and some people are gonna slack no matter what. That's
Yeah.
where it's important to know who it is, especially before you go handing them money, because you don't want to hand them money and then later on be like, well, hell, he didn't even. I gave him all this money, and he didn't even invest none of that in his dogs to make his dogs
Yeah.
better, or none of that.
But I think that goes into your vetting process prior to.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
Um. Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
man.
and some of these guys, you can try to vet them and you'll ask a bunch of questions. So this is one thing to be cautious about, right? Some
Hmm.
people are shitty and they'll handle themselves with people shitty. So then they have a bad opinion of that person, and when somebody else brings it up, they're like, "No, he's not good." You know what I mean? Because they
Yeah.
had a bad altercation with him. Even if they started it, they'll still blame it on that person. And
Oh no, I don't ever get
so
caught
that's
into
weird.
that. I don't. I go off of what I see because first of
But
all,
I'm like,
like looking at
sometimes you can't see everything. I
no,
might want a dog man
that,
from a man that don't know a lot of people, so I have to
yeah,
ask a couple questions to people that's known
yeah,
him longer than me, especially me being
yeah.
young.
But I definitely understand that. But for me,
Yeah.
I look at it from a standpoint like this. Yeah, I'm looking at the dog man and the whole nine, but uh, and it's kind of like hypocritical at the same time, but it's not because it's the dog and the dog man for me. So initially, I'm gonna see the dog first. If I can't see the dog or whatever the case may be, um, and it's different scenarios, different cases. But if I can't see the dog, then yeah, I'll be, typically going off of the word of mouth of the yard and the dog man. But usually I look at the dog and be like, damn, that's a good dog. You know what I'm saying? Or they got some traits that I really like. I really like that dog. Now I'm trying to see who owns that dog. And then I'm trying to take it from and go through there. I'm not necessarily just running up on a dog man because he's got a good reputation. I want to see the dog or see something that's coming directly off of the yard, and then start making making my way that in that direction. I'm not just going off of somebody's name and this and this and that, And with that being said, if I can't see the dog, then usually I'm not even going. I mean, it's not going to gain my interest. I don't care what anybody's saying about the dogs, you know.
Yep. And like,
Yeah.
say somebody drove from Texas and wanted to buy a dog for me. I would honestly, because I have security cameras, I don't have to worry about none of that shit. I got fences and I ain't got to worry about that. I would rather them come and see the dogs, just to be honest with you. A lot of people go, no, but from my experience, I'm not going to sell you a dog if I don't trust you enough to come to my house. Simple
Right.
as that. If I feel a vibe that I should not trust you, then you're not getting a dog from me. So I want them to come and see the mama, the daddy, their cousins, you know what I mean? Like, I got a whole family of them. So, like, seeing the family of dogs in person can answer a lot of questions that you may not even have never thought to ask. You may never think to ask it, but for some reason you've seen it firsthand. So it answer questions unconscious questions that you just have. And that's just my preference. A lot of people, I'll tell them, come up here. I mean, if you can get by Haywood, then hell, you could take that puppy. But I just don't see it. Hell, he bit my cousin yesterday. My cousin was like, "I'm going to pet him," and I was like, "I wouldn't mess with him." And he walked up there, and hell, he grabbed a hold of his whole sleeve and ripped it, and his arm a little bit, and ripped his whole sleeve off his shirt. Like, he's just, you can't touch him on the chain. Like, that's just the dog he is, you know what I mean? I told him about him. He'll tell you right now that I told him that. And he's like, yep, he definitely did. Like, and I always question, would he actually live bite somebody? And he will, won't he, Ethan?
Yeah, insane honey badger say I like to see stats and interrogate. Man, I got a tongue twister. Integrity. I took a chance of 600 person 600 miles and out and never seen this dude. Just did my research, bought my dogs and had transport 5 dogs later. We tied it in a mug. Man, salute. Yeah, nah, I mean, I definitely see that, man, and that's the thing, man. Sometimes when you dealing with this stuff, I don't care how you look at it. You always taking a chance, even if you get coming from a respectable line and a respectable breeder, it's still a chance. I just personally try to narrow my chances down to the point to where I can get less disappointment. The chances of me getting disappointment are at the least. That's a lot of money it's a lot to invest to travel a couple of over hundreds of miles if you got to get a dog. If you still shaking the dice. Me personally, like, the dog has to be local. It has to be within the state or the state over, something that I could drive to and frequent. Here, prior to me, getting into the dog, something that I could, that's why, for me, it's a slow, patient vetting process. Now, something I would travel for immediate was to stud. If it was a stud that I just had to have, I already know what the deal is. But as far as me jumping into the game or getting me, my first dog, trying to get back into it, I want to have somebody that I can reach out and to on a regular basis.
We're gonna drive to Illinois here soon. I got a heavy Colby bitch I'm gonna get.
When you drive to Illinois, bro?
Huh?
When you what day?
I ain't got the day set for sure, but I know I'm coming that way. Why is that towards you?
Hell yeah, you got a pad. You definitely coming our way. What you going? The top of Illinois or the bottom of Illinois?
I'm gonna hit you up on Instagram. I'll tell you exactly where he'll be at.
Yeah, we definitely could kick it for a little second.
Yeah, we should definitely. Shit, you show me where the good place to eat's at. That's my favorite part of traveling, bro. I go to different places and I'll eat shit I've never touched before. I've eaten ox tongue, I've eaten fried calamari. I love gator. I love any of the gumbo, any of that stuff down in Louisiana. That's been my favorite part about going. It's just getting to try their culture and their food.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we got like simple cooking here. It's good, it's delicious, but it's different type of food. So
yeah,
I love like Louisiana. That's been one of the fun parts about going. Like, I've been to Louisiana twice now, and like as we go through, hell, I know where I'm at.
Yeah,
I don't feel as like the world feels a lot smaller after actually traveling.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was discussing who you get dogs and stuff from. I heard y'all was cooking.
Yeah, well, I me personally, man, this is just how I look at it. I've had plenty of pups and enough, and I've gotten them from all different types of places. And one thing I learned throughout the process, man, is I'm trying to force it. Me trying to force things, it never really turned out how I wanted to turn out. So I just started to back up a bit and, start really going through the process, man, of checklists and how I can have an open line of communication and all that stuff, man. And it works for me,
Right. Oh yeah. Okay, perfect. So
that's another thing. Like, if I was going to buy a dog and I hit you up asking a bunch, like, I want to feel like I can ask you questions, not like, oh, this guy's going to hate me for asking questions. And that goes back to that episode about window shoppers. Like, window shopping is okay. I might be window shopping on some crap you're trying to sell, and that might deter me from trying to buy that crap because I watched it a little bit. Come on now.
Yeah.
Anybody can call me a window shopper, but I know a lot about other people's dogs as well. From asking questions about multiple litters, like a dude that owns some pretty heavy tab stuff. Like, I know a good bit about his family of dogs because I've talked to him many times over the years. He's far away from me, so like I've asked him about the litter. And if it's not exactly, bred how I want to go get it, then I'll just wait. Eventually, he's going to put one together that I'll make the trip to go get it. 15 hours plus, it's going to have to be the right dog.
Yeah.
There's a fella, I ain't familiar with him. I just started watching his stuff yesterday. He went up to Bulldog Hill recently and made a breeding with Hickson Jr. And that's a smart move. That's a smart move as far as just breeding with consistency and, he has a female. She's really nice. She fits the phenotype and structure. I don't even know how she's bred, I think. But she fits it really nice. Like, that's a good move. Like, instead of taking the risk with somebody, that he couldn't watch their stuff, he went somewhere he can look at and go and experience the dogs with his eyes before, I don't know if he had the intention. This is a question I'd like to ask him. Did you have the intention to breed to Hickson Jr. when you went, or did that come after you got to looking around a little bit, because you might have, like, see, going to somebody like Tom's, you might have something in your head like, I want to breed to this dog, but then you go there and he's like, hey, I got this one, and you're like, well, dang, like, I didn't even know you had that. So you might make a change. You know, you might want to breed to say Bushwick, and he might have a triple bred grandson of Bushwick.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was breeding out of my family of dogs, I want to go to a tighter family of dogs. That's why, like, if I cross my stuff, I would want to go to, like, say, Samurai stuff, you know, because it's so tight. That's crossing two tight lines of dogs. You're going to get a real cross.
Yeah.
And even then, some factors in them would still not be technically a cross. Mason stuff they share like factors. If you really look at the pedigrees, like, so I mean, it's just everybody is going to have different experiences, right? So, like, people's got to be okay with what their story is.
Yeah.
Build the story that you're proud of. Is really the best thing I can say. Don't do anything that you can't, you know, sleep at night with. Like, if character means everything to you, don't ever stray for nobody.
Yeah. Martinez say, I saw that he did his research first. That's big. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You can tell if somebody really doing they work. You know.
I figured he did. Like, I mean, a lot of people goes up there with a plan, so I figured he did. That fella seems smart. I'm definitely gonna start watching all his stuff.
And as far as me, man, when I start, like, and salute the honey badger, man, he say, I just talk with the money ready. I hate it not having it when ready, so I started scouting ahead of time. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. See, because I'm never going somewhere expecting to leave with a dog. I don't want to. You know, I want to go home. I want to assess the situation, sleep on it. Because when I was young, I used to be impulsive. Yeah, give it to me. See, I don't even, give it to me, and I left the house with the intention of just getting one dog. I came back with 3, and so, I never try to, for me, it's a long vetting process. It could take me, I could fool with the dude for a year and not get a dog. Because for me, having a dog, or even longer, for me, having that dog is a total investment. I'm investing everything, finances, time, everything. I want to make sure I'm getting I'm making the right choice. So I'm never in a rush, and be in a rush to get yourself something that you don't like, Yeah.
Yep. And most of the time when you're rushing, that's what'll happen. It's catch guard Megiddo. Salute to that brother, man. I'm telling you. I'm gonna watch this stuff a lot because I like that.
He either catching something or guarding. Something, Yeah.
And that's a pretty dog he's got. I like she's got her ears cut.
He got a few good dogs.
Okay. Yeah, I saw it saying and I clicked on it.
Yeah, shout out to him, man. He just went to Garner's yard, man. Direct.
Hickson Jr. And I had some of the Hickson stuff, so, like, I can say, like, what I had was not bad dogs. They were good dogs. I had 2 of them. They were great dogs, both of them.
What you do?
One of them, one of them is with the hog hunting guy, and the other one passed away, a close prime-meter.
Oh, okay.
Of course, the one I kept.
Yeah.
But so one was more on the Hickson side, and one's more on the Bushwick Bill side. The one that's hog hunting is more like Bushwick Bill, and then the one I had looked like a female Chinaman.
Okay. Yeah.
She was nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So the hog hunting one must be doing his thing, man.
Yep. Yeah, I mean they're happy with her.
At least I know he made the team.
Yep, and I don't know, like, I like the Hickson stuff. Like, my buddy Nick, he's got the daddy, and, man, he's a nice dog. He's double Hickson. And I'm probably going to breed him to something up here. I probably will. I thought about taking him to like Rogue, my little daughter of Mason that I have all my stuff pretty tight off of.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
Man.
Out of this litter I got off of Vixen, her sister and her son, I got a little Rogue out of that.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
It's pretty cool to see them keep popping out.
Mm-hmm.
Like
hey, Supreme. Supreme.
Yes, sir.
How'd you get your dog, man? Your female.
How did I end up like as far like the process of obtaining her?
Yeah. What was your process?
So this is gonna be funny. So y'all remember around the pandemic?
Yeah.
So I got her. She was born in 2020. I ended up getting her like 4 months after she was born. So I was still dabbling on the Facebook groups, right? But I had learned to decipher which ones was worth messing with and which ones to stay away from. And the Boudreaux Maverick.
Hold up, time out. How did you do? What's your process? Can you explain that?
Yes, sir. So individuals would like to showcase their dogs in conditions that would damage the breed and the whole as more than pick it up. Conditions as far as like wounds and stuff like that, and then they type certain things in the comments along with the picture that would just made it Cash Money Records 400 degrees type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I stayed away from them groups. Didn't indulge in them groups. I ain't gonna call them out because I can't even remember the names.
Yeah, we all know what you're talking about, but come on.
But they wasn't allowing that, and they wasn't allowing that in the more historical groups.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ain't gonna flex. I was living in Memphis, and I was waiting on my pandemic check, and then I had put a comment in a Boudreaux asking for a puppy, and there's one guy, he reached out to me, and I get, and my page was public, so you can go through all my pages and stuff. I guess he went through it, he seen I was cool, I had a dog that was a number of the average welder, so he felt comfortable enough to give me his address, and he held the puppy for me, bro.
Yeah.
He held the puppy for me, bro, and I drove down. I drove to Missouri, so Memphis to Missouri, that ain't shit.
Yeah.
Pulled up to the middle of nowhere, and when I got there, he came out swole as hell, short, swole guy, cocky than a motherfucker, like he can pick up the front end of a diesel truck. So he come outside, and the first dogs that I noticed was Malinois. He had like 9 of them lined up.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to walk around the side of the house to go to the where you had to piss at. And he was there. Then he get to telling me. Then he, before we even make it that way, we get to having a conversation. I can't really recall the conversation. I can more so recall the conversation as he was showing me the grandparents and stuff like that. He had all that on yard, from the mama, the daddy, her mama, his daddy, one of the grandparents. He even had a pure Camelot pit bull, huge. You had to get past that Camelot pit bull to get to the Eli dogs and the old the red noses, and you know what I'm saying. And like I said, he was short, so as I'm walking through there, he had the way he had his kennel set up. I had to duck down up under stuff to get in there. Like I said, he showed me all the.
He didn't, huh?
Yeah. So what really made the hair raise up on the back of my neck was when I got to see all the dogs that it took to make that leather, and he picked her from me. I think I asked for a Brindle one at first, but in the process of him holding the dog for me, I guess that one ended up getting gone.
Yeah.
I know who got that dog, so I damn near know everybody that got the Linimate, and he didn't tell me. It was like it was like that. It was like the universe did that for me. I know what her brother at right now. He just bred a puppy. He just bred the brother, told him to keep a male so we could breed that to a female. I keep off this litter so we can
Yeah.
close in the bloodline to whatever we put in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, man, I seen the daddy, a thick Bujo dog with the
Yeah.
baby at the bottom. I'm talking about
Mm-hmm.
solid thick. You would thought it was a red boy Jocko dog, as thick as he was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, and then when we went in the crib, he asked me if he wanted me to give him the last shots. I was like, yeah, go ahead. Signed that paperwork, and I was on my way.
That's what's up.
And before I got that dog, when I was in Chicago, it was kind of like the same way. Pulled up on the guy. He had all the dogs. He was bringing them out, bringing them
Mm-hmm.
out. He was Red Boy G, Turtle Buster, Red Devil. But they ain't
Yeah.
had no paperwork. But he was steady bringing out the dog, chocolate after chocolate after. Pulled out a big old Red Boy dog. I'm like, you
Yeah.
thought this was directly out boom. So I like a person that got all the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Now I ain't gonna hold it against you if all you got is the mama and the puppies. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You might be in a rebuilding mode, but seeing somebody with all the dogs on the yard and then they, you know what I'm saying, it's a beautiful thing.
It definitely makes you a little more comfortable.
Hmm.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, because I mean, some men can show you generations off a dog in the
Yeah.
same yard. I mean,
Yep. Yeah.
so, and I mean, it's just all, I mean, on their goal, what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he got to telling me stories about the so I got the on the top of the bottom end, you got Lil Banjo, but more Earl Jr. than anything. And he got to
Yeah.
telling me about the most important dog, the grandparent. He showed me the dog, and he let me know that Epinets, when Epinets died, he had to return the dog back to I think his granddaughter or something like that. And I forgot the name of the kennel she got, but he had to return it. But he had breeding rights to that dog, so whenever you want to breed something back to it, he can go back to it. I think
Yeah.
that's what Epinets told his granddaughter before he passed. Them old family red nose dogs. He's like it's gonna be kind of impossible to get them. And I was turned on by them because they was like weight pulling champions for
Yeah.
consistent years, back to back to back to back to back to back.
Mm-hmm.
Were they like the low, blocky, dark red ones?
Yeah, the T's,
Yeah.
T's blood. Yeah, they was low.
Yeah.
They was low to the earth, small. Once you seen how small the dog was and how much weight it pulled, you was just sitting there scratching your head.
How
Uh,
much did it weigh? How much the dog weigh?
man, I can pull it up right now. Give me T minus.
A lot of them are in the 50s.
Cause I sure was just looking at the alright, this dog weigh chain weight 45, condition weight 42, uh 2016 ADBA WPP 45 and under national championship, also 2017, also 2018, also 2016, 17, 18, Ace of Ace.
Yeah.
Ace of Ace blood. I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna put the pin. This all the bottom 25% of what I got going on right. Well,
Okay.
say.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, right there. So you see that little joker? That little joker,
I
you
can.
think, man,
Oh, we can't see anything.
y'all can't see nothing.
No.
No, sir.
All right, I'm gonna see if y'all can see. What about that one?
Yo, your camera ain't on.
Oh no, I'm talking about I put the pin in the chat.
Oh. Oh, all right.
Yeah, I put the go. Yeah, I put the pin in the chat.
Oh, okay. I got
Click on the first one, not the second one. I had put his dad, the dad. The first one I put in,
you. Mm-hmm.
the uh the red incinerator junior.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Got you. Yeah. Yeah,
And
man.
then
That's what I'm saying. Huh?
he had the old family red nose dogs on the yard too. I'm like, he had
So,
another yard with the Jeep and the old funny red. He's like, you want to go to the other yard? I'm like, no, 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 no. Let me get this.
hey, nah, cause hey, you be scared you go see something else and can't make your mind up, huh?
Exactly, bro. Exactly,
Yeah.
bro. It be like that.
Mhm. Yep, that's how I ended up coming home with three pups when I was leaving the house for one. You know? Yeah. But yeah, man. So what did that make you feel about him as a breeder?
That this just wasn't this just wasn't something he just decided to put together. It was dogs that pleased him, and he decided to move forward with.
Hmm.
It let me know what the importance of the old funny red nose is. I've heard of people saying they're correct structure, but
Hmm.
if you get the right ones, you probably add an extra hour of work, hour and a half of work
Hmm.
on the Maverick dog.
Yep.
Hmm.
Uh, and then I just he when he gave it to me, he asked me, "You gonna breed her?" I was like, "Yeah." And then
Hmm.
that question stuck with me till today, and I'm like, man, I gotta make this breed count.
How old is she?
She'll be she'll be 5 in December.
Yeah.
When are you breeding her?
Hopefully, hopefully it'll be like August or something.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna hit you up on Instagram for sure.
For sure, bro. I was gonna breed her to JD. Last year I had slid out there to uh to Mike Dan crib and we was trying to breed her. She was acting like a little aggressive. Mike Dan ain't, we feel like wrestling, you know what I'm saying? So, we kind of called it quits. I kind of wish I had went out there like spent the night or something, let them, what I'm saying, get
Yeah,
candlelight
man. You
dinner
gotta.
or something like that.
You.
I fucked up. I fucked
Yeah.
up. I take it. I take it on the chin.
Yeah. That's why I
But
like it. But that's why I'm saying if I was breeding out of town or something like that, I'm going out there for a week, and I'm gonna get a hotel, and every day I'm gonna be out there. We're gonna,
yeah, man,
first couple of days will be, getting them together, and just introducing. And then the
walk off
next
the
couple of
street.
days, yeah, the next couple of days will be trying to stick them as much as I can.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, because I can already tell, I already know I might have a problem with mine. Mhm.
Yeah, you probably have to use a muzzle when it's showing.
yeah.
Problem. Yeah.
So, another thing that I learned from the experience of going to that man yard was how to
Mhm.
not be kennel blind.
Hmm.
Cause
Yeah.
I had a few dogs, some with paper, some without paper, more without paper than anything. And
Hmm.
decided not to be kennel blind. You know, there's a difference between not being kennel blind and just doing just like sporadic scatter breeding with no
Hmm.
planning.
Hmm.
And man, I can go to Texas and breed all that fat bill blood, or I can go straight to
Hmm.
the bill house and get all that, or I can start pulling straws
Hmm.
and go ahead and make my. That's my plan to go ahead and make my outcross now,
Yeah.
collecting straws
Hmm.
and move forward because I don't. I'm young enough to know. I'm young enough to be great, but I'm old enough to know better.
Yeah.
So I ain't trying to waste no more time. Uh, with the goofy foolishness like I was last year. I learned how to
Hmm.
just be cool and focus on that goofy foolishness. I could have been working my dog.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
It's a transfer of energy, man.
Yeah, bro.
You
So
know.
I'm trying to make it count. And she a
Yeah,
good dog, bro. She a good, and God done blessed me
I can
with
see it. I can
with
see it.
more. Yeah, with better good feet. God bless me with better females than males. The male dogs be more like best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be your
Yeah, they be
homie.
like, I swear to God, they be your homie.
Yeah.
You pull up to the gas station, you leave a car running. He in there like I wish you would.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
female dogs, they more like Queen Bee, Aaliyah's to me.
Hmm.
Queen of the dance type, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna let my girl
Yeah,
pick the
man.
meal. because the dog she got, he get kind of old, so we gonna need a male to replace him. So
Yeah,
me personally, I don't plan on picking no males ever in my life. I
yeah.
would leave that to my friends, my brothers, the Shogun. I just, I'm
You
biased.
gotta you gotta learn how to do a temperament test, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That'll help you, man. Yeah, yeah,
I
man.
feel like the ratio of good females versus good males. If you took all the males out of the world and all the females bulldogs out of the world, like we're talking bulldogs, uh, there's gonna be a really high number of phenomenal females.
Yeah,
Which is important because of how much maternal DNA puppies carry and stuff. So I think that's one big reason why. That's a trait that they keep passing on to each other.
yeah,
yeah, you ain't lying.
Because I mean, I see even like a lot of the females are phenomenal. I'm like, wow, I
You
wouldn't
want to
settle
know?
so.
You want to know another good thing about females? They
what's
can
up?
sense like when you kind of like panic attacks and like my dog
Yeah,
she'll walk up on me and sniff me, if I ain't gonna lie to you, like if she think I'm gonna like have a seizure or something, she
yeah,
like damn she up underneath me, she ain't moving.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? She's sniffing me, she not going nowhere. If she see me going that basement, in and out that basement, she gonna stand at the top of them steps till I'm done doing what I'm doing.
yeah,
And then when I'm done doing what I'm doing, she go, all right, then she gonna go to sleep. So
yeah,
it's a good
man.
dog. So what I'm trying to do is get the same dog,
Mhm.
except for maybe a male.
Yep, yeah, man. Yep, I want one of three dogs, man. I want a male Michonne or a Saki or a Knucklehead, man. I get one of those three, I'm happy.
That's gonna be a nice breed, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
I got a good feeling about that one.
Y'all want
yeah,
to hear what I told
Before I even
Samurai?
knew you were gonna do that, I was at the dog show and I told Samurai that I asked, "Is Saki's daddy still around?" And he said, "Yeah." I
yeah.
said, "What color is he?" He said, "He's black." I said, "Man,
Hmm.
y'all need to breed Michonne to him." He said, "Hell, that's what Big A wants to do." I was
Yeah,
like, "Damn, okay, never mind then."
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I told
yeah,
Samurai I was gonna
man.
sneak down to his house and breed one of my dogs. He is. He like, man, go ahead.
That's the mother. That's the father that created Saki. Saki to the mother created old Michonne. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you can see
Yeah,
the mama coming through like, I'm
yeah,
back.
yeah, yeah,
Y'all did a good
yeah.
job, man. Can't nobody take that from y'all, man. I wish a motherfucker
Man,
would.
y'all, you talking about y'all shit? Dre did a
Will
good
Drake.
job.
But
Yeah.
don't you own a dog off of that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And don't that dog look amazing?
Oh yeah. Yeah. She's a
So
real
who
good
did the
dog, man.
who responsible for having a dog looking like that?
Yeah. Shit.
Now
You know.
we gonna split it down the middle.
Okay.
50% you, 50% the dog.
Yeah. Yeah. See her to him. Her to him. Yep. See what we come with, man. You
Yes,
know.
sir.
Yeah, man. But we've been rocking with y'all for an hour, man. You know what that mean? And being men at work coming up. You
Yes,
know.
sir.
Yeah, man. So
I'm finna go
Yeah.
y'all
for
wanna
there,
make
bro.
y'all rounds?
It is supreme.
Yeah, I'm finna go for there, bread. Get something to eat.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
holler at
man.
y'all, man. Catch me outside.
Alright. Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir. Yeah,
Catch me
man.
on
You know what
Facebook, YouTube, all that.
yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, man. Catch you at what? Where do they gotta find you at?
Elevated kennels on
Elevated
everything.
Kennels. All it's
Yep.
a 360 deal, man. All social media, Elevated Kennels. But There's two elevated kennels. So which
Yeah.
one should they be looking for?
The only one you're gonna find is with me and Mason on it. If you don't see
Okay,
Mason, then you ain't on the right one. I've never found the
got
other one on
okay.
as far as
Uh,
social
it's
media
po-
goes.
yeah, it pops up on YouTube.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, yeah. But
Oh, so
huh?
there was two channels. That could be my other YouTube channel.
Might be. Might want to check it out.
Cause yeah, I mean, I had an old YouTube channel that I couldn't get into. I broke
I
the
tell
phone.
you what. This is what I do when it pops up. I'll send it to you.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
All right,
I
there
do.
we have it. Yeah, man. So y'all know what it is, man. Digital Dog Show Week. This is the Digital Dog Show Week. That means Digital Dog Show happening on Saturday. That means we voting for the dog of the month on Saturday. That means that we're giving away three t-shirts, free t-shirts on Saturday. We have free cash giveaways on Saturday. Man, y'all need to be tuned in for it, man. Saturday at 9:30 a.m., man, Digital Dog Show. Yeah.
Is there a good amount of entries for the dog show for this month?
I have to double check. I saw a couple of them, but
Oh,
I've been working. Yeah. Um, yeah, man. And if you ain't a member, I don't know what you're doing, man. Come on, join the boom. And stay tuned for this binge worthy content. Coming up next, we got that men at work, man. Yes, sir. I wonder what Pimps is gonna do today, man. He gonna try and go viral or something. No telling, man. But y'all know what it is. We out.
Yeah, yeah. Another day, another mile. Out here in wreckage dream about samurai kennels, Shogun Army, Digital Dog Show ready. Let's work. Let's work. Early in the morning, leash in my hand. Me and Machon, two soldiers on this land. Miles on the pavement, rain or shine. She moving like a bloodline on the line. Slate meal whirling like the wheel of time. Flirt, pole, snap, and keep a razor sharp mind. Ain't no shortcut to the crown we chasing. Every drop of sweat is a throne we creating. Built from the bottom, raised through the fight. Michonne moving silence, but her presence ignite. Shogun blood in her veins, battle in her breath. We train for the war, they train for the gram and flex. Built by the miles, forged by the grind. Shogun army rise, we leave the fake behind. Digital Dog Show, real dogs, real pride. Running mile after mile till the spirit collide. Ain't no love in the lazy, no crown for the weak. Only scars on the ones who got dreams to keep. Slight meal sessions, flirt pole wars, conditioned by pressure. We breaking through doors. She don't bark much, but her work loud. She don't need a chain, she command the crowd. From the dirt roads to the digital stage, Michonne earn her respect with every page. No fake pedigrees, no false tales. Only real warriors with real trails. This Shogun life ain't built for show. It's built in the mornings when the real ones go. Built by the miles, forged by the grind. Shogun army rise, we leave the fake behind. Digital Dog Show, real dogs, real pride. Running mile after mile till the spirit collide. Bigger than ribbons, it's bigger than trophies. It's about legacy. Samurai kennels, Shogun Army. We built by the miles. It's bigger than ribbons. It's bigger than trophies. It's about legacy. Samurai kennels, Shogun Army. We built by the miles. Samurai kennels. Shogun Army, we built by the